What is going on, Governors? Chisgule here, and today we're going to do two important things. The first thing we're going to look at is the rewards for the Ceroli Assault, an event which just hit Rise of Kingdoms. And the second thing we're going to do is look at the gem value of spending on specific commander wheels. So, for instance, a Takeda wheel or an Alexander the Great wheel. How much gem value do you get? And I'll put a card up in the top where we did the exact same thing for the Universal Wheel. If you like Rise of Kingdoms videos where we help you figure out how to get value and also smash events, you should like and subscribe because we put daily videos about those very topics. Let's get right into the Ceroli Assault, which is a 12-person version of the Ceroli Crisis, which was capped at 5 people. You find 12 of your closest friends, which is a harder thing to do, although you can put out to get randoms, which we've had mixed results getting randoms in our group. It's easy to get the randoms, but harder to actually complete the challenge. And we've made our way to Hell Mode and beaten it, which is pretty exciting. We had a really cool group going last night. Went very, very well. And the rewards include legendary patterns and epic patterns. We were wondering where some of these new patterns were going to come into the game, and here they are. We'll review those in just a moment. What I want to do is show you the rewards first for easy, then for normal, where you start to get some of the epic blueprints. Then we'll jam it up to hard, and more blueprints become available. Nightmare is where you start to see some legendary blueprints show up, and also Hell difficulty. Now, it's worth mentioning that you can get an upwards of the number of blueprints shown here. You're not guaranteed to get that max number, which I think is kind of interesting. If we jump back to the rewards that we actually received, here is what we got at the Nightmare tier. We did actually get the legendary pattern blueprints or fragments. We're on our way to a completed blueprint, but not quite there. And, 2 of the 12 participants ended up with those blueprints. So not even a 1 in 5 chance to get the legendary blueprints. However, should you care about getting a lot of these blueprints? Let's just go look briefly again at those patterns. If we go to the blacksmith, we're talking about this chess piece here, which you saw in my other video. I don't love that there's itemization toward commander experience gain. That said, it is still the best archer and cavalry chess piece in the game. It's just, you can get 4% over here with a special talent really easily. You could, let's see here. You can get 4% over here, and it's epic tier, which, is closer to, the legendary tier if you get the special talent, perhaps, right? I don't know. I find myself fairly underwhelmed with the itemization of the Milky Way compared to the itemization of Shadow Legion's Retribution. And we'll do a separate video where we do some math around the amount of time it would actually take to craft one of these. I would guess it's 4 months of material gathering to make something like this, maybe 3 months. Maybe I'm being too aggressive here. It's a very long time. Legendary materials are really tough. So I prefer the itemization on this piece because it can be used in so many more places compared to this one, although there's an argument to be made for min-maxing, which is happening a little bit here by having 6% of stats on only cavalry and archers rather than 5% of stats for 3 different unit types. So with that said, if you aren't getting those super rare patterns, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I would not be all that worried about it. It is a cool event. We'll have a separate guide on how to beat the hardest difficulty. We beat Hell Mode using all T5s, and we had 25% expansions rocking, and we did have a single tank. But we'll have a detailed video here. We believe that Khan Cao Cao is the DPS combo you want to use. So we did use that combo, but, Minamoto and Cao Cao is pretty good too. We were 3rd in DPS. The player who got 2nd in DPS had the same build we did, and maybe they were using a 50% expansion. I'm not entirely sure. look out for a more detailed video as we learn the mechanics of that fight, and we'll share them out, and we'll have that later. What I want to talk about now is the specific commander wheel. We're talking about the Wheel of Fortune. This is interesting to talk about because they just released the probabilities very recently for hitting the different markers on the wheel. So I'm going to put my evaluation of that wheel up on the screen in just a moment to show you how much gem value I would expect you would get from spinning the wheel. And I'm going to do that gem value evaluation as if there aren't any mile markers that also give you rewards. Then we'll talk about those mile markers, just the first one anyways, so that you can evaluate whether or not you should have been spending in the Harvest Celebration, getting Universal Commander Sculptures here. Because in a live stream, I said, hey, I actually think you're better off spinning a wheel than spending 1,000 gems per Legendary Commander Sculpture here. I did the math to prove whether or not that was right, because I was kind of shooting from the hip in that live stream. So now let's actually get that math up on the screen. And what I'll call out is that I would make the argument that the expected value of a spin in the commander wheel, the specific commander wheel, is 1,450 gems per spin, which is really, really good. That's really quite good. The cost per spin, when you're spinning 5 at a time in this wheel, is 720 gems, which means you're getting about 2-for-1 value on your gems per spin in this wheel, which is pretty gosh darn good. If you compare to the Universal Wheel, which we did yesterday, we were evaluating it at about 900 gems of value per spin, and a spin costs you 600 gems. So for the Universal Commander Wheel, it's a return on gems of about 1.5 for every 1 gem you spend. Now, you're not actually getting gems back, you're getting in-game stuff that has some amount of value. So this is why these specific commander wheels generally do feel like better value than the Universal Commander wheels. There is just one important thing. However, I'm making the claim that you value the specific commander just as much as you value the flexibility of investing in any commander, which assuredly is not true. So if what you really want to be investing in is that commander that is coming from the specific wheel, then it is higher value to you than the Universal Wheel, even though generally Universal Wheel sculptures technically should have more value because you could use them on any commander you want. So with that said, assuming we continue to value these things equally, I did some evaluation yesterday that I want to mirror here, which is, what if we say, you know what, Chisgule, there's stuff on the wheel I don't care about for this Universal Wheel. I don't care about building speedups, for instance. Well, then every spin to you is still worth about 1,374 gems, which is still great value. It's not quite 2-to-1, 2 gems of return for every 1 gem you're spending, but still quite good. And what if you didn't care about building speedups or research speedups, which is my case? In that case, it's about 1,300 gems of return per spin on the wheel. If you don't care about building speedups, research speedups, or wood, which is a resource I have like basically infinite of, or in a similar situation, it's about 1,260 gems of return per spin in the wheel. It's still great value. And lastly, I thought I'd just do the math really quickly. Like, what if you don't care about resources at all? Like, all you care about's everything else, no resources. You're looking at still 1,320 gems of value per spin. It's all really, really great value and better than what you're getting in the Universal Wheel if you care about the commander that's on that specific commander wheel. So it is really, really good. Now, the next bit of new evaluation that I did is I said, hey, wait a minute, Chisgule. Like, someone did ask on your stream about these Universal Legendary Commander Sculptures over here, and like, should I spend 1,000 gems buying sunflowers to get these Legendary Commander Sculptures? And the answer is no. You get 2-for-1 gem value if you're buying the Universal Commander sculptures. Every 1,000 gems you're spending, you're getting about 2,000 gems of value. With that said, I did the same evaluation for now spinning the wheel to 10. And I'll first talk about the Universal Wheel, because you do get extra value. Spinning the Universal Wheel to 10, you get 5 Universal Legendary Commander Sculptures, which is actually quite good. So when we went and we did this evaluation of spinning to 10, you're getting the free spin, 3 50% off spins at 325 gems a pop. You're doing a 5-spot spin, which is 3,000 gems, and then you do the 650 gem spin. That's a total of 4,625 gems. Anyways, you're getting a return of about 4 gems, 4.1 gems, for every 1 gem you're investing, which is really good. That Universal Wheel, spinning to those mile markers is really great gem return in terms of value worth of stuff that you're getting. 4 to 1 is really quite good. When we look at the specific commander wheel, the price for the spins is a little bit higher, right? So if you're spinning for Isongye, for instance, or Richard I, you're going to have a free spin. You've got your 350% off spins, which are 400 gems a pop. You've got an 800 gem spin. And then you've got a 3,600 gem 5-spot or 5 spin. You're looking at about 4.4 gems worth of value returned for every gem that you spend. You're getting better value overall from the specific commander wheel by a little. And overall, per spin, it is, in my opinion, a significantly higher amount of value for a return on gems. So to summarize, the specific commander wheels are better than the Universal Commander wheels if you really wanted the commander that's on that wheel. And the gem value for both of those wheels is better than the gem value you'd spend buying sunflowers anyways. So if you didn't buy sunflowers, you got really great value spinning a wheel instead with those gems. If you did, you're still getting great value, and I don't feel bad about it. It's equivalent to the value you'd get for spinning the Universal, not the Universal Wheel, for spinning the specific commander wheel past 100, which is 2 to 1 value, but all that value is instead in commander sculptures, which you can feel really good about. You're not getting all the other stuff, which you might not care about as much. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please do like and subscribe. And until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.